Okay, hi, my name is Ryan Fleck, and I wrote and directed Half Nelson.
Hi, I'm Anna Bowden, and I wrote Half Nelson with Ryan, and I also was a producer and the editor of the film. Some humming here.
Yeah, this humming is something that Ryan was doing on occasion in certain scenes, and as the character, and we thought it was pretty cool. And we were looking for the opening of the movie. We thought it really worked in terms of setting a tone and a soothing vibe that would clash with the alarm clock. Ryan wanted to wear that underwear. He was very excited
The
about that.
tidy whities.
I said, go for it.
Half Nelson, the title of the film. We get a lot of questions about that. It's a wrestling move and used here as a metaphor for being caught in a position that's uncomfortable and struggling to get out of it.
This thing in the car here, this was the first shot of the first day. This is the first thing we did. And on one of the takes, I said, Ryan, why don't you count to 10 just to sort of ground yourself before you get out of the car? Just count to 10. And he did this Sesame Street thing, which I thought was great, and gave me a sense of how he worked as an actor, how he interpreted things in a unique way.
Yeah, it made him a really fun actor to work with. He was always doing something unexpected. So the students in the class, you want to talk a little bit about casting them, Ryan?
Well, most of these kids are real kids. A lot of them went to this school, and we used very few actor kids with agents. There are a few in there, but we wanted the classroom to feel really real. And yeah, a lot of these kids are from Brooklyn.
I'm so happy to hear that. No, what is it?
And a lot of the shots at the early part of the scene, we shot at the beginning of shooting while the students still thought we were setting up, and we were still kind of setting up microphones and everything, but wanted to get them really natural, how they would goof off at the beginning of class.
So the civil rights movement, okay? It's two opposing mentalities. In the South, the
Right.
majority
So
believe
this girl
slavery
here, I think she was really sleeping and sucking her thumb.
So that minority struggles,
She was great. We were like, oh, we got to get that.
pushes, till eventually it becomes the majority.
And Ryan Gosling always said that, acting with these real students who weren't used to being in a room and having to do takes a million times. That was kind of kept him fresh, and he was always trying to perform for the kids like a real teacher might have to do, just to keep them interested.
Student, anything else?
Mr. Dunne?
Yeah?
This year, these insult things that's coming up here, it was something in the script that was fleshed out only slightly more, and we shot a little bit more of the insults. But basically, it's this idea that in Mr. Dunn's classroom, if you insult somebody, instead of getting detention or some kind of traditional punishment, you give person who's insulted gives that person a date, and they have to go look it up and give a report on it. And that's kind of the idea of where these reports in the film come from.
You'll see very shortly later, rudely, we'll give a report on Brown versus Board of Education, which is that date right there.
What's going on with that? Right.
So Shareeka Epps, that's she plays Drey in the film, and when after we wrote this film, we didn't really have the resources to make it as a feature the way we wanted, and so we kind of recast it as a short film, and with Drey as the main character of the short film, which we shot on video, with just a great small group of people as crew, and that's when we cast Shareeka Epps as Drey. We just found her in a local middle school. She had never acted before, but she had this really cool presence about her.
Here's some more humming. Um, this apartment, this was an apartment in, where's it, Prospect Heights, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
And the first time we scouted it and looked at it, I thought, oh, there's no way this is going to work because it was like most New York apartments, just a series of very small rooms. And we needed some more space. Like behind the camera here, there's a much wider open space. And I thought, this isn't going to work. We need this wide shot for the end of the movie. There's no space for the actors to work. And our production designer, Beth Mickle, said, oh, well, we can tear out a wall. And I thought, Are you serious? You can actually take out a wall?
'Cause we had never worked with a budget before, let alone an art department. So
And so, yeah, we're in this gutted apartment, and sure enough, they tore out the wall, and it was beautiful. They sort of built this apartment from scratch, and I give them a lot of credit for setting it up that way. It's movie magic.
Hey, Dan, it's Rachel.
This is the first music cue in the movie. Broken Social Scene is a indie rock band from Toronto that we were big fans of for a while now, a few years. And when we were writing the script or rewriting the script, we discovered their music and we put it into certain scenes and we were writing to it. And this scene here in the bar, we played this song on set to sort of set a vibe. And there are other scenes in the movie where we played their music, and it was just great. It's been like when we cut the film, Anna was cutting the movie to all of their music, and eventually we flew up there and showed them a cut of the film, and we were lucky enough to have them like it.
yeah, because we had a much lower budget than the money they deserved for all this music. But
And they let us know it. You know, you guys really can't afford us.
we had a really fun time up there, and it's just great to have them respond to the movie, and they've been so supportive of it since.
This is worth noting. This is the first time we see Dan get high, and he goes out and he dances with girls, and that's something he likes to do when he gets high.
Oprah.
It'll be sort of a reoccurring thing, Dan dancing with women throughout the film.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I was a writer.
I hate words. Yeah.
Right, because everything that is worth...
Right, just forget it.
This was at Lily's Bar in Red Hook, which is no longer with us. We tried to go there recently this summer, and it was gone.
It was a really cool bar with an outdoor space and cool vibe.
Right.
That's the point, you know what I mean? If you can help one student.
Yeah.
No, if you can change one person, right? If you change one person,
Change them all.
This is the Somnambulance playing, Joe White.
I went to college with Joseph White, guy singing from this band.
What is it? I want to dance.
But yeah, here's an example of a missed opportunity for Dan to connect. One of many.
So I mentioned this car because Dan Dunne's car is actually my old roommate's car. I went to elementary school with her, high school. She's a good friend. And we just thought it was perfect for Dan Dunne. It's her parents' old car, you know. And she had a tendency to not move the car in Brooklyn. You need to move to the other side of the street for street cleaning. So she got a lot of tickets, and they kind of put these stickers on your window to shame you that your car was somehow.
You're blowing up Alice's bad parking habits.
But we thought that was perfect for Dunn, and so he has all these stickers. They're really impossible to get off the car, and anybody who lives in New York probably knows about them. But
I want to mention that music that's playing right there. The film we made before this one was a documentary on hip hop music in Cuba, and that's Hermanos de Causa, a Havana hip hop group. You can listen closely and hear them.
it's new street shit.
On May 17, 1954, the Supreme Court ruled on the case.
Here's the report that we were talking about earlier from the bald-headed sister insult.
This was a major step forward in the struggle for racial justice and helped begin a flurry of bold and heroic actions known as the Civil Rights Movement.
Do you want to talk about casting Ryan?
Well, sure. I mean, when we originally wrote the script, we wrote it for somebody a bit older. We imagined it to be someone in their mid-30s, and we had only seen The Believer, and so we weren't really thinking of Ryan Gosling for this part, because I think he was only 19 when he made that movie. But I have to say, I'm still not exactly sure how he got the script, what happened, but apparently he got the script and liked it, and next thing we know, the three of us were meeting together, and he just seemed to really get the material. And before that, we'd looked at all his other movies when we found out he was interested, and we thought he was so good. He was such a terrific, sort of volatile, spontaneous young actor that we thought, no problem, let's just make this guy in his 20s.
We should mention that I'm sure Edie Belasco, our excellent casting director, had something to do with getting him the script.
Oh yeah, of course she did. Yeah, Edie was terrific. She did a great job.
Especially casting some of these supporting roles, like Tina Holmes as Dan's ex-girlfriend, who we're about to see. Getting some really great actors for these supporting parts was really essential.
I like our chances against St. Joe's, though. I think that
So,
if we could just figure out a way
Tina
to
Holmes, who
ball,
we're hovering over her shoulder right here,
we'll be fine.
is a terrific actor. She was in 6 Feet Under, I think the 4th and 5th seasons.
Yeah, she was a very big character in the 5th season.
But she and Ryan have a similar acting style, which was great they hadn't met before this day, I don't believe. And yet you believe this, like, they've created this amazing, rich history.
Right, and we don't know that much about their history, and they didn't discuss it, I don't think, but they both have an idea of what their history has been together, and I think they tell a lot about it without a lot of exposition, without a lot of words, just in the way they talk with each other.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, their looks, just the looks between them in this scene, like this one right here, I mean, they're pretty amazing.
I think they had me crying on set, actually. During some of their, one of their takes was pretty intense.
That looks great. You look healthy.
So, just wanted to mention about Dan's wardrobe. Ryan was very collaborative with Aaron Bennick, the costume designer, and Andy Roa, who is also part of the wardrobe team. And things like the calculator watch, those little details, and this windbreaker, they all worked really hard to kind of find a look for Dan. And his briefcase, I don't know if you'll notice it, but he has a belt that he's put on, nailed on as a strap to his briefcase, which Jeremy Ballin, the prop master, did. It's just kind of funny little details about him.
So, Andre Perrick shot the movie, and he's somebody that I went to film school with. We didn't really know each other at the time. He was in the grad program at NYU. I was undergrad, but I knew his short films, and I thought he was pretty terrific, and we asked him to shoot this movie. And, it was really important because we knew the performances were the most important thing in this film, and we let him know, look, the actors take top priority to everything, because if the performances are bad, then the movie's just gonna suck. So it was important that we lit things in a way that gave the actors freedom to move about, and Andre got it. He's also a director, so I think he really understood that. And
And the camera style is, as improvisational as the acting style. And, most of the improvisational quality of the acting was in terms of movement. And, Andre never knew exactly where the actors were going to move, and he has really great instincts about where to move the camera. I think particularly in this scene, which was one of the more surprising and improvisational scenes.
right, in rehearsals, there is a scripted dialogue that takes place between Mr. Dunne and Drey's characters, but Ryan suggested, why don't we sort of strip that away and just have him have more of a physical reaction to getting high here, and it's so much more powerful. I think it's pretty remarkable, everything that goes on here with saying so little. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, and Shareeka, we told her that things weren't going to be exactly how they were scripted, but we did not rehearse this scene, and she didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And her reaction here is really honest. She was pretty scared, seeing this guy she knew like this, and
Right, I think we shot this on the 5th day of shooting, and we almost had to shoot it on the 1st day because it was supposed to rain. Thankfully, it didn't rain, because we would have had to do this like the first scene. It would have been, I don't know, it would have been really, I think, too intense for everybody to deal with this on the 1st day.
But it was also, most of the producers didn't know exactly what was going to happen here either, and they're all out there on the monitor watching. And I think it was neat for everybody to see this come together, because it's such a pivotal scene in the movie, and most people didn't know exactly what was going to happen.
Are you okay?
Can you help me up?
Check out the bonus materials. I think there's a nice little joke that we played on Shareeka that should be on the DVD.
To lighten things up at the end of this really difficult scene.
We did this scene a bunch of times, and we finally got it, and we told her we had to do one more. And we played a little joke on her.
That B is for Brooklyn, not for Boston.
Somebody asked that. They were very upset that we had a Boston hat in our movie.
Water?
And you can see Ryan kind of, if you look at the scene this way, you can see Ryan kind of leading her through a little bit and helping her through it, asking for water and asking her to stay with him a minute.
We could have, in the edit room, there was a time when we thought, well, we could probably make the scene a little bit shorter, but we thought, let's just let people sit with it. Let's let everybody sit with this discomfort.
Just don't go, okay?
And go on this sort of uncomfortable journey with these two people.
Just for a minute.
It's one of the few wide shots in the film. We cut away very occasionally to a wide shot that kind of acts as a release, usually at the end of some kind of intense scene.
There's a lot of car stuff in the movie, and we shot most of it from the back seat, usually from the back seat because we just felt it was a more organic way to film a seat. Of course, the car's not moving, so now we're outside of the car, but whenever we're moving in the car, we're usually in the back seat because that's a place that somebody would be in a traveling car. And sometimes a camera rig outside a car can, at least me, it can pull me out of a scene because I'm aware of the cinematic device being used to film.
This is the first time where we leave Dan and move into Drey's life, which obviously happens more throughout the film. But we thought this was an organic place, it's scripted this way, an organic place to go into her life after they've just shared this important experience together, and you can see how their lives are going to kind of inevitably be intertwined after that. And people questioned it, I think, not necessarily the producers who ended up doing the film, but at various stages, people thought, she should be introduced earlier as an equal kind of force to Dan.
Right, and the same thing with Frank, who doesn't come into the movie for quite some time still. People wanted him in there earlier, and we just wanted everyone to sort of enter the scene in a natural kind of way and not force it.
These kids here, it's another example of, us shooting them when, they thought we were still kind of setting up the camera and stuff. Which works because they're just, he's not in control of the classroom right now.
Seriously, like in jewelry shop, my favorite color is gold.
This is at a school in Fort Greene. It's outside the school that we were actually shooting in. Great neighborhood to shoot in. I mean, all of Brooklyn was really supportive whenever we'd go out and shoot. People would come out, and for the most part, we're pretty friendly. So this is in East New York. This is actually out by JFK Airport. And when we were scouting for the movie, all over Brooklyn, we found this neighborhood, and it was like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is exactly what Frank's neighborhood, Drey's neighborhood should be like. There's space, it's not a typical New York location.
There's literally, a 40-horse corral the Black Confederation, the Confederation of Black Cowboys, is right nearby around the corner, and you'll see people riding horses around there. It's such an unusual sight for Brooklyn.
This actress here, this is Karen Chilton. She's somebody that I met when I was at undergrad at NYU, and I was casting for a short film that I made, and Karen showed up and won this role. She's a terrific actor. She played Asada Shakur in this little 5-minute short that I did and just like blew everybody away. And in the short film that we made, Gowanus Brooklyn, the short version of this, she played the same role here, Drey's mother. And she's just really terrific.
Oh, so you grown, huh? Can take care of yourself. Is that
I
it?
think it was great having this kind of relationship that was already formed between Shareeka and Karen, too, just in the rapport between them. I think you can feel that.
Hey, Mom. You know this dude, Cesar Chavez, was fastest. Cesar who? Cesar Chavez. Was fasting for 35 days. That means he ain't eat for 35 days. Something like Gandhi used to do. Think you could do that?
This music cue right here. This is salsa music. This is a band that my dad and my stepmother know. And, you know, at first, the first time we put this in the movie, it was kind of a joke because the original cue we used was a little bit somber and slow, and our producers were saying, you know, you guys, you should really put in something a little more upbeat.
So we put in the salsa music just to show them how ridiculous it would be, but then we found out that we really liked it. And they might have been right. And that message that his mom left, that's something we put in post, and it was nice to have that to be able to put in because in the writing stage we didn't think about the fact that if he didn't pick up the phone, you know, how would the phone call just end? And so it was nice to have that to put in as a realistic end to the phone call.
This, don't blink. This is one of the few dolly shots you're going to see in the movie. We're handheld on a dolly, and when Shareeka enters the room, we're pushing in. There it is, and it's over. I thought that it was exciting because she does show up to class this day, and he didn't get high the night before. That we should just do something very subtle, little movement to indicate something is different today.
I need a volunteer, and I need somebody who feels strong.
A lot of this classroom stuff is basically directly off Ryan's father's website, dialectics4kids.com. And it's, you know, he spends a lot of time on the website trying to explain dialectics, this philosophy for how change works, and, you know, in the simplest terms possible.
There's a turning point. Thank you, T. Make sense? Okay. Now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great metaphor for what this guy is going through. This idea of opposing forces within all of us, kind of competing against each other for, and that, you know, it's something that he's totally aware of. He's a smart guy, and he's aware of both sides of his personality and how it applies to not just that, but also history and politics and addiction and you name it.
Okay. What's up?
Have you even opened the civil rights binder I gave you?
Starla Benford as Principal Henderson. This is a funny scene. Ryan was chewing gum because he felt that it was something that his character would do because he's trying to quit using drugs, and so he would need the gum in the classroom, and it was kind of a struggle because some people thought, no, you can't have gum, he's a teacher, and we figured out the solution was to have Starla, Principal Henderson, ask for the gum as he's on his way back into the classroom. I think he just breaks off half and gives her half. Compromise.
He does. You see him do it. It's like he's still chewing. Such like a sneaky, childish thing to do, and it's kind of what his character's like.
Drinking tea today. Not coffee.
He was a Gemini. He was so
This was a scene that was almost totally unscripted. You know, there were certain beats that Ryan led the kids through in terms of what they had to hit, about talking about the teachers and if Mr. Dunn's married and all that. But it was fun to cut together just because there's so much random stuff those kids are saying.
Y'all think Mr. Dunne is married?
Nobody want to marry him.
Would you want to marry him? Come in the room, swirling his finger around, tell him to move the desk. Why can't he move the desk? I'm getting tired.
And then there's, Frank's car in the background.
Did we see that yet?
I think she looks
Oh,
at it
really?
at the beginning of the scene,
Oh,
and
there
then
it is.
again here.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would have done differently in this sequence is push in closer on that car and really see Frank, see Anthony Mackie in that car, because I think it's a little bit confusing what she's looking at.
I don't think people really pick it up necessarily, but it would have been nice to block it differently so that we get a good view of
Yeah,
that.
we just punch in a little bit closer. Damn that Andre, he couldn't get in there for that shot. Just kidding.
It didn't.
Dennis O'Hare, another really great actor that we had for a couple days on set, and the Ida Belasco.
Yeah, he was doing his play Sweet Charity at night, and so we had him during the day. And Edie Velasco brought him to us, and he's a fantastic actor on film and on stage, as is Monique Cornin, our first time seeing her. She had acted in a few films that Paul Mazzei had produced. Paul Mazzei is one of our executive producers, and she had a role in Maria Full of Grace and Jim McKay's movie Angel, I believe. So he suggested her, and she came in and read, and she was fantastic. That bell just went off during that take, and we thought we'd leave it in.
We were shooting during summer school, so it was in a real school, and during summer school, they only used the first 2 floors, so we had the 3rd and 4th floor all to ourselves. But there were students actually going to class downstairs from us.
You know what? That's a good idea. We could put it in the lost and found.
And there's Ryan was smushing up his peanut butter and jelly sandwich into peanut butter and jelly sandwich cubes in that scene.
And now we're gonna finally meet Frank. Almost 28 minutes into the movie.
What's new?
I love Anthony's checking his oil the first time we see him.
I can't hear you.
In like this bright white shirt.
We were big fans of Anthony's work, before we cast him, and he was in a couple Spike Lee movies, including She Hate Me, and he was also Papa Doc in 8 Mile and in Brother to Brother. And Jamie Patricoff, our producer, really also was dying to score him for the role, and supposedly kept bumping into him at these parties during the Tribeca Film Festival where Anthony was a juror, but Anthony totally thought that he was being stalked.
Yeah, I think he was really annoyed probably with Jamie, but I guess he did the movie anyway, so I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Maybe it worked.
I love that football helmet behind Drey.
Did Jeremy Ballin put it
I
up
think
there?
somebody found it. It was just on the street. That's our only gun violence in the movie, in the video game.
Hey, Tina, you remember Mike's little sister Drey, right?
This interior, this isn't the same interior as the exterior that they just walked into, but it's right around the corner. And the guy that owns this place agreed to let us shoot in it if he could be in the movie. And he has a very small cameo later on, but
We'll point him
I
out.
thought it was a great deal. That all our producers thought it was a great deal, and they asked me, "Look, can he be in the movie?" I said, "Yeah, we'll figure out a way to put him in the movie." And it's great. This is Shareeka's like her having a cigarette. When she gets stressed out a little bit, she turns to the go pop, as we call them. Those figurines belong to my stepmother, Ida Lucero Fleck. Thank you for loaning those to us. We thought it would be interesting if a drug dealer had this sort of these racist figurines as a way of kind of taking ownership of the stereotype that kind of exists within them. It's a little heady. I haven't worked it all out yet.
Come on, what's up with that juice?
I'm not thirsty.
That's the cash that Frank's character apparently occasionally gives to Drey. And she brings it home and puts it in, we're about to see, puts it in this jar, which kind of acts as the silent medium between her and her mother, so her mother can accept the money without actually having to think too hard about where it's coming from.
Right. It works better, though, when she's not around.
Right.
To witness the money getting put in the jar.
Right. Kind of creates this awkward situation here where she's not willing to say no to the money, really, but makes her uncomfortable to think that her daughter might be hanging out with this guy who is partially responsible for her other son being in jail.
On September 13th, 1971, 1,200 Essex State prison inmates seized control
That's
of the prison
Tyra.
and took hostage
Tyra's great.
to negotiate
Tyra went to the
terms
actual
with
school that we shot in, and she came and auditioned for us, and we thought she was terrific and had this great quality, and we worked her in the role of Stacy.
She was only 12 years old when we shot this.
With the exception of Indian massacres in the late 19th century, the police assault was the bloodiest one-day encounter between Americans since the Civil War.
That's our cat.
Kitty.
She did not want to be there, but
See
she
her
did it anyway.
getting up there. She did it anyway.
She agreed as a favor.
As a favor to us. We gave her some tuna.
That's a great moment she has, though, getting up on this hill.
There's her tuna. We couldn't get her to come out of hiding for anything but tuna. She was just not having the cat food. You know, there was the first day that we brought her to set, she got trapped. She found a hole in between the floor of Dan's apartment and the ceiling of the floor below him. And she got trapped in there. Our lead man had to rescue her. Mike Romano had to rescue her
Yeah,
by...
tore a hole in the ceiling below?
Yeah, in the ceiling of the apartment below us to get her out.
Second chances are rare, man.
That kid is named Bryce Silver, and it's a funny little scene.
Don't let go. Grab the t-shirt if you need to.
This is Ryan. I mean, this scene is scripted, but you know, he's supposed to be having fun with the kids at practice, and the things that he's saying there, you know, throw an elbow or.
He's just
like
really
that.
trying to make those kids,
That's
you
fun
know,
stuff.
trying to charm those kids at any cost. Which is kind of how Dan Dunne would act, I guess.
We were in a big rush to get this shot that night. I remember the sun was going down, and we knew we wanted it to be this sort of magic hour-ish type shot, and everybody was hustling to get the shot, and we got it. It seemed like we had plenty of time. I don't know what the rush was all about.
It's a nice surprise. Where's Mom?
Working. Daryl's uncle came.
So, we shot this in the cafeteria of the school, actually. That's kind of why it's shot all in profile and so close up. But that's more movie magic, I guess you call it. You put like a security guard in the background and you shoot it close, and all of a sudden you're in juvenile hall.
Yo, I threw them shits out. So how's the team?
We suck.
And Mom? Still working too hard?
Yeah.
But she aight for money, though.
Those extras back there were really getting into it. It was great. They like had a whole story going on. At some point, they started actually fighting across the table from
Yeah,
each
somebody
other.
jumped across the table and they started wrestling, and we were like, guys, hi. The scene is about these other people. That didn't happen.
It made shit more complicated. And shit was already fucked up as it is, you know? That's all in the past, though. I'm gonna get out of here. You see? I mean, we got Russell Simmons on the case.
Russell Simmons is on the case. Some people think Russell Simmons is their lawyer. They're not aware that Russell Simmons is active in sort of repealing the Rockefeller laws, which is what we meant by it.
It was my dad is the first one who told us he thought it was the lawyer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your dad doesn't know Russell Simmons?
No.
I think Jamie's dad knows
I'm
Russell
surprised.
Simmons. We got the WBAI shirt representing on Ryan here.
It's very visible.
This is great. We wanted Charles in Charge to be in this movie somehow, and they sent us 3 random episodes, and we looked through them all, and they were all, you could take any 10-second piece, and it would have just been just perfect for that moment.
Because he's such like a perfect role model. He's like the guy that you want in charge of your kids, you know?
That's right. You definitely want Charles in charge of your kids.
And also just in the last scene, he was painting there. He's doing the watercolors. That's for his children's book that he keeps talking about.
This is just a great, famous speech by Mario Savio in Berkeley. There's a great documentary, Berkeley in the 60s. You should check it out.
Burglary.
You making fun of me?
Yeah.
It could be robots.
He's saying this machine is keeping me down. Now, what is that? What keeps us from being free? Miss Drey.
Prisons.
Absolutely.
You know, this scene was, for the most part, scripted. It was went according to the script, but you know, there were moments where Ryan is really just trying to fire up the kids, and he'll just ad-lib some great little lines that we never would have written.
Like right here.
Oh, no, you didn't. What'd you say?
Aren't you the machine?
You're saying I'm the machine?
Yeah, why you part of the school?
Oh, yeah, I guess you got a point. All right, so I'm part of the machine, but if I'm part of it, so are you. You are too. We all are. And this is the thing. Remember? Everything is made of its opposing force. We may be opposed to the machine.
And again, this classroom stuff was lit from the outside. There's no lights in that classroom, and that was just helpful in allowing the kids and Ryan to just move around as they felt they needed to.
It also made things go super quickly because we just had one big, light outside the room, and the most we had to do between setups was put some gels in front of the windows.
Yo, what's up? Where you headed? You look like you're in a rush. Hungry?
Nah, I'm cool.
I'm starved.
That's my friend Teresa Reachmore's bike.
So how's school?
It's all right.
This diner that we shot in, when we were scouting, this is one of the first locations that we wanted, and I guess they wanted too much money, so we weren't gonna shoot there, and we found another place, and for some reason we lost the location at the last minute, and so we were scrambling to find another place, and Jeremy Walker, our co-producer, line producer, went back to this place and
Your brother was a good friend.
paid for it. But I'm really happy that we
He's
got
our
it because
hero.
it's a great little location on Atlantic Avenue.
You ever showed you the chicken walk?
The what?
The chicken walk. It's a reference to Blue Velvet. I figured that Mike, her brother, probably saw it on TV at some point and just kind of co-opted it for himself. But nobody else knows that, just him.
Yeah, if you can work in like a random Blue Velvet reference to your movie, I highly recommend it.
It's one of my favorite movies.
You ever think about working? Shit. I used to work here.
All right.
$150 a week. Hey, Keisha.
What's up, hon?
We need 2 milkshakes, baby.
Now this was shot in Queens. This is one of a handful of locations that was not in Brooklyn. And when we originally scouted this park, it was completely empty. It was like a Sunday morning, and we thought, man, this is great. And when we got there on the day of shooting on a weekday afternoon, it was packed. It was so loud. There were airplanes everywhere. There's a huge fountain that wasn't there the day we scouted, and we had to like plug it up, and the kids got really mad at us.
So loud.
It was really a hostile environment.
Environmental policy.
No, I know, but I think you're really going to be great.
This moment is great too. I mean, that's not scripted. I mean, Ryan, he's being the character, but he's also being Ryan Gosling, who feels that he's not saying the line sincerely. And Tina Holmes tells him to say it again, and we thought, let's just keep it in there. It's a great little moment between these two.
Occasion calls.
Yeah.
Again, it's another example of a scene where very little is said about their history, but you just kind of get it. You understand these two have a long history together.
I don't know. Dan. Some people
So
change.
when we were set out to make this film, we, we're fans of movies, and we love American films from the 70s, like Harold and Maude and Last Detail and Midnight Cowboy and Coming Home. And Anna, you want to say California Split too?
California Split and Scarecrow, too.
But so we just wanted to kind of make a film about these kind of buddy movies in the tradition of that. about these oddball characters coming together and kind of helping each other out in very strange ways. So yeah, Hal Ashby was an Altman, big influence on the film, as well as Frederick Wiseman's documentaries.
We really looked at those for the visual style of the film. We're just into that aesthetic of, when he shoots a lot of things very close up, and also when he decides to hold on something, not cut away, not pan away. That's really exciting to us, to look at that, the patience that he has.
This scene was really tough to shoot and to cut. I mean, there's a lot. It's just that little moment, the moment that just happened where the three characters are kind of taking each other all in. It was really hard to get that down. Not sure why. It's just tricky because there's nobody talking, and it's just kind of these three little looks.
Right. There are a lot of people noticing each other. There's Dan noticing Frank, cheering for Drey, and then there's Drey noticing Dan, noticing Frank. It's just a little difficult.
There's a lot happening.
People were very concerned about the choreography of the basketball game here and how she was getting fouled and if it was realistic. So we spent a lot of time on that too.
Call the foul.
Folks, go back to your bench.
Pull it
Back
down.
to your
Call
bench.
the foul.
Go back.
Call it.
Go back to
Call
your
the
bench.
foul. This is fucking bullshit. You know it. Call the foul.
You're gone, Cole.
This gets the biggest laugh in the movie here. This is where we go slapstick.
You think he's about to get into a fight though, and he's just like, okay, my bad.
Ryan impressed me. He nailed that guy every time in the same spot.
It's not that far away. It's not that impressive.
I know, but I didn't think he could throw a basketball so well.
It's a big ball. It's not like a baseball.
That's fake movie ice. This is some new thing that I learned about as well. I guess real ice melts take after take, and you want to have fake ice. It's something I didn't know about.
So in this scene, right, Ryan was supposed to be following us.
Oh, yeah.
And I was you guys were all together in one car, in this car, and I was in the lead car, and y'all supposed to be following us down a patch of road that we'd scouted and wasn't too bumpy, this and that.
And so Ryan was supposed to be following your car, and then another car that looked just like your car got between us. And the next thing I know, they're doing the scene, and we're on the freeway going incredibly fast. And I just was like, where are we, guys? And it kind of slowed us down on this to reconnect. The phone was ringing. I was like, where are you? Where are we?
We were looking back. We noticed way before you did that you were following the wrong car.
Yeah, we were shooting. They were in the scene.
Hey, who was that guy?
So it makes you realize why big budget movies have those trailers, I guess, those tow trucks that are leading the cars.
Right, so the actor doesn't actually have to drive. But, I don't think Ryan would have gone for that. He really wanted to be doing everything.
And also they shut off streets so that you don't have to worry about stoplights and stuff like that. They can just go
Do they
through.
do that?
Yeah.
I don't know about making those kind of movies.
But, I mean, just being in the editing room and feeling somewhat more than I would have liked to have been a slave to, when they're stopping and when they're going, when they're accelerating and stuff like that. I can see why that's attractive, that style of filmmaking. We shot this at the end of one night, very hurriedly.
But it worked. We got it, and we got lucky with this green light here. What's a red light? That turns green, and it just kind of indicates that he could go if he wanted to, but I think he's gonna go back and score.
Shit.
This Billy Bragg song is great. I mean, we found this in post. I mean, I knew the song, but I think we scripted it to be Eddie Money's 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Then we saw Sideways.
They used it in Sideways, and then, I don't know. This just works so much better thematically.
That happens a lot. Like, you'll get excited about a song, and then randomly it'll be in some other movie around the same time.
That actress is Susan Kerner. She doesn't say a word, and yet she communicates so much. She is great. I mean, that's a kind of role that's hard. How do you audition for a role where you don't say anything? And you just feel like you know who that woman is.
And turns out, 72% of his supporters still believe there's WMDs. 75% still believe.
Do you think those numbers are still as high as that?
I hope not.
Bush's approval rating is like 4% now.
What do you do? I'm one man, what do I do, I used to be so fucked up.
Oh, this is Lover's Spit. It's another broken social scene cue that we wanted from the very beginning. We didn't play this song now while there was dialogue, but later when they start dancing, we were playing it on set. And just everybody from the actors to the producers to us just really felt like it encapsulated so much of the emotion of this scene. But Kevin Drew, the lead singer of Broken Social Scene, who wrote the song, had just licensed it to a couple of people and was dead set against using it for anything else. This is before he saw our film. But
I think he came around. He just watched it a few times. He watched it with other people, and they saw how well the song worked with this scene, and I think he was ultimately moved by it. And he did the right thing and gave it to us for very little money.
I hope he doesn't resent us for using it 5 years down the road.
Those guys are great, though. I mean, the Broken Social Scene guys were so supportive of this movie, and
You should check out all their music.
big thank you to them.
They're great in concert, too. I really like the cinematography here, too, just how it comes in and out of focus, and
I don't like it so much here, actually. It's not quite working for me.
the rubber bands on his wrists.
Those rubber bands, those were they came from David Easton, the teacher that he shadowed in Brooklyn, is that right?
Yes, we don't see him right now, but we haven't seen him yet, but he ends up playing the brother later on in the family sequence. But he was a teacher that that we set up for him to shadow, but I hadn't met him at the time that I set it up. I just set it up with the principal, and at some point Ryan called me during the day, told me to come down because this guy just looked so much like him. He was the same exact age, and he just got a lot from the experience, from the little details of wearing the rubber bands on his wrists to how he would dress on certain days that he wanted to get the attention of the students, or how his rapport with the students. And so we ended up casting him in the role of the brother.
That girl was sleeping. She was really sleeping and snoring, I think. Shakima, right?
Yeah, that was Shakima.
Yeah, she was great. Everyone loved Shakima.
In that scene, you can catch a little glimpse of Miles Davis. There are a couple kind of odes to him around the classroom because he wrote a song called Half Nelson, which is also another inspiration for the title.
Right.
And Nelson Mandela in the back of the classroom.
I just felt like being alone.
He's supposed to be eating a bologna sandwich, right? But I don't think it was actually bologna. It was some kind of soy.
Oh, you think it was fake bologna?
I think it was fake bologna. Is that a topic of interest for commentary?
I think more the cocaine is a topic of interest. What he used
Oh, right.
for cocaine, which we didn't talk about.
We didn't talk about that. We talked. Well, people always ask about that. What did he use? What was he snorting? And we asked at the Sundance Lab, Tony Drazen, a guy who had made Hurly Burly, the film version of that. There's a lot of cocaine use in that, and so we asked him what they used, and he claimed they used vitamin B powder,
or baby laxative,
or some kind of laxative,
which created much flatulence on set.
So we thought the vitamin B powder was probably the smarter choice.
I think we had him test it out, see what was more comfortable for him. 'Cause doing that take after take can't be comfortable.
This music here, it sounds a little like Elliott Smith, but it's Remy Ballin, who was our prop master on the movie.
And also a very talented musician.
Yeah, we didn't know that, but he was playing his music around set. I don't know, trying to get it in the movie maybe. I'm not sure why he was playing his music around set, but it worked. We thought it was great, and we put it in.
Yo.
Yo,
I lost my key.
you lost your key?
What do we do?
I don't know. You want to call your mother or something?
She's an EMT. I could page her, but I don't know.
I love how the music precedes him, his like thumping music. That's Jamie Patrikoff's car, actually. It was scripted that Frank drove a black Lexus, but for some reason, I think we just couldn't get our hands on one for the budget that we had for the car, so we used our producer's car.
Yeah, our producer is Denali. which actually kind of works nicely for this scene because he's just, twice as high as Dan is. Kind of has this commanding presence here.
So what, man? Y'all just chilling?
But the music, the contrast in music works kind of well here too.
It's a great little pause moment here between them. Like everyone's just trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
That's where the harmonica comes in.
All right.
Well, you don't know him, huh?
Who, Frank?
Just the location here of her house, we'd seen these, they're kind of fairly new housing projects in East New York, and we just loved the way they looked with the staircase that went from the outside up to the second floor. And
They're not the traditional sort of skyscraper projects that you see. They're a newer version.
yeah, and just had a really cool look about them. And we had Marcy and her locations team working very, very hard to get us what we wanted there.
So here's the example of the wall that's missing. I mean, right where Brian is standing, there'd be a wall there, and you wouldn't see him, and they took it out, and now you can work with this kind of great framing of the scene where Shareeka's off to one side and he's over there. It's really beautiful.
Might be a little bit of a strange place to put a couch, but I don't care.
But you're criticizing the
No, not at
couch
all.
placement now?
TV. If you want.
The blocking of the scene is fun. We were rehearsing it right before we shot, and it's just kind of neat the way it happens, where Shareeka's first put on the couch, and then she kind of starts creeping over to the territory in the living room and pushes Ryan back to the kitchen. And eventually, she's just got him cornered up against the window in the kitchen. It's a fun little dance that they do. I think that's how Ryan described it, as a dance.
And at the very beginning, when she's kind of waiting in the hall, it was Ryan. Ryan felt like he would definitely come in and kind of clean up the place just a little bit before she came in. Kind of made it nice, that framing.
My parents and my brother.
They still live together?
So when we didn't have too many formal rehearsals for these two, it was just a lot of hanging out mostly, and I think they went bowling together a few times. And oh, that's Soul on Ice. I think that's your dad's book. I stole it off the shelf. We should give that back.
We should.
But I mean, when we were hanging out in pre-production, we went to the Hall of Science, and really, they just had to get really comfortable with each other because they have to do a lot of sort of intense things, these people, as the characters, and they had to trust each other.
Yeah, they formed a really cool friendship off screen that I think helped their comfort on screen together.
Right?
Yeah.
And aside from just hanging out, more than going through the scenes, actually acting it out, there was just a lot of reading through the script beat by beat with both actors separately and together. Ryan really likes to talk things out, and I think it was also important for Shareeka, who hadn't acted before.
You got a lady coming over tonight or what?
Yeah.
What's like all that?
She's all right.
She like you?
I don't know. I'm hard to like sometimes.
That's true.
Oh. Oh, yeah, you just gotta.
When she smiles, it's so great, because she doesn't do it very often, but she's got a great smile.
Right, and it's authentic. It's not like she's smiling because the script is telling her to.
Right.
She's reacting to Ryan.
What do you call cheese? It's not yours.
It's not your cheese joke. That's a joke a friend of mine, Malcolm McVeigh, told me. I don't know. It might be a very popular joke. I'm not sure.
It's a funny joke.
It's not from Laffy Taffy.
Might be from Laffy Taffy. But Ryan Gosling just thought it was not a funny joke at all, and he was like, there's no way I'm going to pretend to laugh at that joke.
The end of the scene was originally scripted that she asks him this question, and then Ryan kind of evades it and says, why don't you call your mom? And he leaves the room and kind of leaves her there. And we were having talks with our producers and with Ryan, and it just felt like it let him off the hook a little bit too easily. So we all kind of agreed that this would be a better ending if he has to sit with that question for a beat. And he doesn't have to answer it, but he's just got to do something with it. And you can just see so much is happening, so much is going through him at that moment. And then it's over. It passes, and they're back to cooking, and it's a great little moment. I'm glad we fixed it.
Me too.
Hope you have a nice date, Mr. Dunne.
This is a little original cue by Broken Social Scene that they did for the movie.
It's the only one, right? It's the only one they made for us.
They did an instrumental reprise of Lover's Spit that we'll see towards the end. This little story that Ryan Gosling told about the semen. It was a story that he told us while we were out drinking together one night, and he has a few great little stories, but we really liked this one, and we weren't so keen on what we had written in the script. We thought that he would just kind of maybe be high and trying to impress her and talking a lot, and thought this would be a good story to have him tell her.
In India without, stepping on semen. Semen everywhere. There's semen buildings. It's a lot of people, so everything is made of semen,
I didn't say every day. You're her father.
This is also Monique, actually, on the TV in the background.
That's Monique, right?
Doing Oh So Soft.
So, he's getting ready for more of his date. Passport Radio by Broken Social Scene. Another great cue. The scene was always scripted as being cut back and forth between them having sex and Drey putting on her makeup. But it was originally written in the script that the sounds of their having sex carried over the shots of Drey.
And I was editing the movie, and literally my skin was crawling while I was editing it, and there was something just a little bit, I don't know, it just took it too far. I was very uncomfortable with it, and as were other people who we showed it to.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy, I have to say. But I think this still works nicely, without the sound over her images. And people ask us about this all the time, and she's curious. She's a 13-year-old girl, and she's just been hanging out with her teacher, who she might have a little crush on, and
He has a date today. She knows he has a date.
And she's probably never done this before, and she's curious to know. She's kind of tomboyish, so she's curious to know what she looks like in a more feminine way.
She decides she doesn't like it, maybe. Wipes it off.
Are you a communist?
Good morning to you, too.
What?
I was looking through your books. Che in Africa,
So?
the Communist Manifesto.
Blocking of the scene kind of works in the opposite way. Goes in the opposite direction from earlier when Drey was over his house. And she kind of pushes him into the kitchen, and here she kind of pushes him out because he can't deal with human contact this morning or something.
Well, you don't have a copy of Mein Kampf, but if you did, then yes, I'd ask you if you were.
Gets very cranky. He's very cranky after he does drugs at night.
Because it's just not cool to be a Nazi anymore, baby.
But yeah, it's still so charming.
I thought that was written into the script before Ryan Gosling had the role, but we thought it was funny because he played a Nazi in The Believer, or neo-Nazi in The Believer. Like he could actually have a hidden copy of Mein Kampf.
Yeah, we'll see.
I should let you get to it then.
Yeah, thanks, though. I had a good time.
Yeah, me too.
Some people thought the scene went a little bit too far in terms of him being a dick, but I say, don't let him off the hook.
On November 1st, 1977, Harvey Milk was elected to the San Francisco City Council. He was the first openly gay person to ever be elected to public office. A year later, he was assassinated by another member of the city council called Dan White.
Harvey Milk have been shot and killed.
Dianne Feinstein. She's now a senator in California.
This would later be known as the Twinkie defense. Is that for real?
That moment there, people always ask us if he was really asking us if that was for real or if we'd written that. And we love moments in movies where you wonder if it was just the actor doing something or if it was scripted. Those are great little moments. And so we actually did try to script a few of those moments, and that was one of them. This is another scene that bothers some people. It's a very uncomfortable scene, and it's supposed to be, but, you know, essentially, Dan Dunne, as we've seen before, he gets high, and he likes to dance. And, you know, usually he dances with people more closer to his own age. But it's a sign of him losing his sense of boundaries when he does drugs.
Right, and also doing drugs at a school dance, which, you know, he probably doesn't always do, and he shouldn't be doing.
But I don't think he's sexually charged by the experience. I just think he's dancing in the way that he knows how to, and he's going on instincts, and then he realizes where he is and how that looks, and that it's entirely inappropriate, and he steps away.
This is the first scene that we shot with Ryan and Anthony both. And they hadn't met before shooting it. You know, Anthony and Shareeka had met and talked things over, done a little rehearsal, and hung out. And so had Ryan and Shareeka. Did I just say that?
Yeah, I think you got it right.
Okay. Anthony and Shareeka and Ryan and Shareeka hung out separately, but never Anthony and Ryan together. So it was kind of a tense way for them to meet. And you could feel that on set.
They were definitely, and this is the first scene, and this competition is real. These two guys, although they totally respect each other as actors and have since become friends, this moment was entirely charged. And we cut the scenes a little bit short, but it actually goes on a bit longer, and there were moments where they almost started fighting. I mean, they were in each other's faces, and you thought that somebody's going to throw a punch at any moment. And that was fun.
Originally we wanted to have Miles Davis play Half Nelson playing in the background, but
You taught history, right?
we couldn't afford that.
But instead we have this great song called Soho Dancer by Stanton Davis, who is playing right here.
I believe no relation. This guy's a terrific actor. He doesn't have much to do there, but he really, you believe it. And that's a tough scene to watch. This scene gets the biggest sort of gasp from the audience that I can remember hearing in a movie theater recently. That shot right there of our dead cat.
Which is funny because when we've had the original cut of the film, everyone was so concerned that we might not hold long enough for people to know that the cat's dead or not be close enough, but people definitely know.
And people always ask, why did the cat die? And if you pause it on the DVD, you can actually see a little baggie of cocaine next to the cat.
You might have to zoom in on your TV set.
So there's the answer. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's this idea of neglect in whatever way.
And wrong. It had to be one or the other.
This is, he's kind of totally lost it. He's pretty much given up on trying to teach these kids, and he's just trying to teach something to himself maybe, or figure something out for himself here.
Perfect. So just to suggest that a tree...
This day, it was great. Our crew was so great because on scenes that were intense, they would just sense the vibe. And before you knew it, everybody was whispering and just being very sensitive to the actor's process. And then the next thing I knew, I was whispering, and I'd go up to Ryan between takes, and he would be whispering to me. And then at some point, we're like, why are we whispering? And we had a good laugh at that. But, it's just the vibe of the set.
He's an amazing actor. He can just cause nosebleeds on cue.
Yeah, that was impressive.
It was, every time.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Broward County, Florida middle schools mistakenly failed over 6,500 students in June due to what it later called a computer error. The school official called the total count of students affected.
Where did you get those things, Ryan? You put those into the script.
These things that Jimbo was reading?
Yeah.
They were actual events that I found from some paper. I forget some, but yeah, they were actual news events. I believe I changed the names of them, but I didn't make them up.
I can't do it anymore.
I know the feeling. Hang in there. Things will get
That's a great shot of the calculator watch.
If not, there's always summer.
You get the sense that here, Jimbo realizes for the first time how serious things really are. And he's not just kind of a quirky fuck up, but...
Yeah, maybe there's something deeper going on.
That's him over there.
That ain't even your bike. How that's him?
That's my bike. There he go right there.
I love the song, You Don't Know Me, Homie.
Yeah, that's a friend of Jamie's singing there. This is great. This kid is
Charles.
And his name is Chris, but he's playing Charles. And he's been a big fan of the movie. He's come to all our parties. He and his dad have been big supporters. And he's a good actor.
So what happened, huh?
What?
I thought you was gonna fuck him up.
There have some.
Oh, shit. Okay, you didn't have to.
This is the Hall of Science. This is in Queens. And it was just a fun place to go with the kids this day. And have them play around on stuff and shoot it. Great playground. Really fun playground out there. I recommend going there. Just having fun.
The only specific times when they're supposed to go out onto the playground, they're like little time segments, but they've both kind of snuck out before they're allowed. Sun's a little much for him today.
You know, the script originally took place in Oakland, California, where I grew up. And we were planning on shooting there for some time. This was going to take place at the Hall of Science up in the Berkeley Hills. But I think within our budget, logistically, it was just going to be too difficult. We are living in Brooklyn, and it was just going to be hard for us to relocate ourselves and our financiers who were from New York and knew how to shoot a movie in New York. And once we started scouting New York, we got really excited about it, and we're glad we shot there. But I think it would have been a different movie, a little bit different if we shot in Oakland.
Do you?
There's so many planes out there because it was by JFK, almost everywhere we shot, in East New York and there, and so we just got one of those planes in
But
there.
I love how that plane sort of soars us into the scene. This is probably my favorite scene in the movie. And this is the second time we shot it. The first time we shot it, it was incredibly cloudy. The light wasn't right. We were all miscommunicating. I don't know why. We couldn't get the scene right. And I don't think I did a good job of explaining it to the actors. But I'm so glad they came back and they did it again, and they just nailed it this time.
And our line producer found a way to get it in the schedule and in the budget, and
Everybody was really supportive about getting it right and doing it again, and
it's a pivotal scene.
Okay, so just do me this solid, all right, man? Please.
Do you solid?
You know what I'm saying.
he's trying to like communicate with Frank on his level. Do me a solid.
I love that he has a blow pop here, because not only is it, I don't know, it's like eating when somebody's yelling at you. He's like sucking on a blow pop, but also it's this sign that Drey has kind of influenced him in some way.
Yeah, it's a big slap in the face to Dan.
Listening to me?
Why are you so fucking angry?
I'm sorry, a go pop.
Listening
I'm
to
right
me.
here, baby. Tell me what you're talking
I'm
about.
telling you to do something good.
Oh.
Are you capable
Oh,
of
and
that?
we said that we would point out the owner of the house when he came up.
Oh,
He's there in the
there he is.
background.
It
He's
was
the white guy. You can
There
see
he,
him.
there he is. He's looking at us.
peeking.
That's it. That he made it into the movie.
Looking out for Mr. Model A1 fucking citizen.
I don't know. I don't know.
Those other two guys are also friends of ours.
You know, and again, most of the scene is as it appears in the script. But I'll let Anna talk about this
Yeah, 'cause
this moment that comes
we
up
talk
here
a
with
lot
the
about
cat.
improvisation in this film, and it's very improvisational. But the vast majority of dialogue was actually in the script. There might be a line here, or changing words here and there, but the majority of the improvisation was just in the actors' movement and the way that Ryan Fleck gave the actors freedom to move around, and Andre also, as a DP, was so understanding to that. And and you get little moments like this one coming up where a stray cat kind of wanders onto set, and Ryan Gosling notices it and just picks it up and includes it in part of the scene.
Touch that cat.
And then later Frank says, "You can't bring that shit in my house," and he puts it down. So that's all just the actors reacting to the situation and allowing the environment to, happy accidents, I guess.
It's a great little moment, and then Andre just continues it and pans off, and then we cut to Drey, and we didn't plan any of that, but feel like that cut just says a lot in terms of the dead cat and what the cat means to Ryan and what Drey means to them both. It's just I don't know. It's a nice little moment. Sometimes people accuse us of cutting out what occurred between Frank and Dan inside the house, but we didn't think it was necessary. We didn't write it. We didn't shoot it. I think it's pretty obvious
Yeah,
what happened
here
in that house.
you see how he leaves the house. You might have an idea of what happened inside of it. Hear this line that he says, "I am not now, nor have I ever been." That's a reference to the HUAC hearings, the House of Un-American Activities Committee, and is that what it stands for?
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, during the McCarthy hearings, that people had to take oaths that they were never a communist. So he's just kind of being clever, referencing back to when Isabel had asked if he was a communist.
Maybe I'm surprised, yeah.
It's another heavy scene, acted so well by both of them here. It's not, I wouldn't say fun to watch, but it's just exciting to watch good actors when they're on.
Good. How about you? How about you?
I'm good. Just a little tired, but I'm good.
Really long take at the beginning here.
Yeah, we shot a lot of this movie close up, very close up, and people ask us about why we shot it so close up, and there are certainly all those film school reasons for shooting the close up, because it makes you feel immediate and close to the actor, and there's an intimacy with the close up, and that's all true, sure. But it's also just for me it's an exciting way to watch a movie. I like to be close up. I like to see what people are going through on their faces, and we talked about Frederick Wiseman and how he shoots so close up, and I think there's just something really real about experiencing a scene with an actor close up. If they're good. If they're bad, you want to get as far away as possible.
Well, that was weird.
This moment here, it gets a lot of laughs. I think because it's just so uncomfortable to watch that scene before it, that you're just ready to sort of release in some way. He really, he's really good here.
Listen, feel free to whatever, And
this space, which you don't necessarily realize until later, is, he's talking through the door to her. She's in the bathroom or the bedroom or whatever.
Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Or not, I don't know. It's hard to say really where I'm gonna be.
This is a great little location that we shot in. Where was it?
This was in Bed-Stuy. Yeah, great little old lady lived there, and in the basement apartment.
She let us totally paint over, and kind of the art department picked out some great colors for Isabel, and
I had fun.
Really kind of made it homey.
Yeah, they were really cooperative. Cooperative? Is that the word?
We had fun,
Just cooperative, I think. Most of this, I mean, pretty much word for word, this is scripted except for the very last line.
This part right here, the couch arm thing. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Because that was something that we decided during blocking to pull up and use.
Sorry.
It was? He didn't just do that on the moment?
Yeah, no, we determined it because we didn't want to use like fake blood or whatever.
Oh, yeah, no, right. But the line at the time.
The
he just
line
said
at
it
the time, right.
But yeah, right. In the previous scene, we decided to have him use that. And this I thought was important, that we see the door open, just so we know that she's responded to something in some way to what he said, and that she's just not so terrified that she's not going to be willing to come out forever. You know, the door opens. It seemed important.
It also gives you a sense of the space. If you have a small TV, you might think he's just talking on his cell phone or something. Here he takes, Bernard's at it, cheating again, and he takes the test right off Stacy's desk and gives it to him so that he can just do it. He's done with trying to make a difference. I explained that just because sometimes it's hard for people to get the physical because of shot
Yeah, I'm still not sure what happens there, but now I get it.
Thank you.
This is great. Okay, this scene was the first scene. It's not the first scene we did on the first day, but it's the first scene between the two of them on the first day, and it was Shareeka's first scene for the whole movie. And, you know, I have to say, we were all excited to be working with everybody, but once we all saw Shareeka and Ryan do this scene together, I think everybody breathed a big sigh of relief and thought that this is going to be pretty cool. The way that these two interact here was really exciting, and we just knew that they were both going to be awesome. So that was a good thing to know on the first day of shooting.
And the scene was it was also hard for her because she had just hung out with Ryan for a couple of weeks and forged this really great friendship with him. And then on set, you know, the first thing they have to do is he's got to kind of shut her out and ask her to leave. And that is how he acted all day to her, you know, because he wanted to set the mood for this scene. It was hard for her, but...
Yeah, and being called a bitch. She was so mad.
She wanted to come back
and punch a hole in his face.
She's like, would I really just walk away from that?
This is funny, too. People really laugh at this. The American flag Band-Aid, you know, Ryan went out and bought a bunch of different Band-Aids, I think with our makeup person, Leo, on, and said, I want to use this one. And I said, great, let's do it. But, you know, people are going to read a lot into that. And we said, okay, great, let's let them read into it. But there's no intended meaning there.
Hey, I think Henderson's looking for you.
It's really Dennis. Dennis's scene here. He's just both a great comic actor and dramatic actor.
You know, we've seen so much. We've seen Ryan's character go through so much in this movie, and we thought this was time to really hold on somebody else in his life and really see how they're taking in what he's going through. So we just kind of hold on Dennis for most of this, and he's just great.
You know, anything.
People are starting to get it.
You know, we're here for you, pal.
What he's going through, whatever it is.
You know, the principal knows too. We cut out of this scene really early because, I don't know, it's just a style.
Well, we didn't think it was necessary for him to explain. I mean, she asks, well, here we go. Is there anything going on I should know about?
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, what? There's so much. Where do I start?
But, you know, we imagine that she suspends him or something of the sort here, but
yeah.
It happens off screen, but we show the, you know, substitute coming in later, and none of his stuff is any longer there, so.
Democratically elected Chilean president Salvador Allende. The military...
Shareeka really nailed this one, huh?
Yeah.
We did all these, like, a lot of the kids, they were great, and we didn't really expect them all to, like, have it completely memorized. But Shareeka just...
She has something to prove.
Yeah, she just rocked it every time.
Too important for the Chilean voters to decide for themselves.
Hi, Mom.
What happened to your lip?
Deborah Rush.
That's funny.
This is a fun scene. This was a lot of fun to shoot. We spent a few days in this house, this big house out in Brooklyn. And, you know, all the stuff here is scripted, but we shot a lot of just fun improvisational footage of the family around the table.
Which we used, you know, a lot of the audio for underneath the, when it comes up, the It's All Right to Cry sequence, you kind of hear it running like they're still talking and engaging while Dan is kind of off on his own thing. But it was just really fun, and all of the actors are...
That's David Easton, the brother, is the teacher that Ryan studied. I don't believe he'd acted before.
Danny Glover. Oh, I like him. What was that movie that he was in, honey? What was that?
Legal Weapon.
Maybe he had. I think he went to NYU Film School.
Oh, yeah. He's a good teacher now.
Boy, fuck your fat ass up.
You said that.
You know she did. Then my man started stressing. He started apologizing. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was yours. I'm sorry.
Then what you do? You knock him out.
Tell her.
Didn't have to.
I didn't have to. That's my girl right there, poking people on the street.
Sometimes Anthony's voice went to 11.
That's J.O. Sanders. Jay is another terrific actor who you may have seen in other movies. He was in JFK and
Angels in the Outfield.
Dozens of other films. Very lucky to have him and Deborah.
Here we always party like it's 1999.
This Free to Be is an album that I grew up with at a very young age, and I was obsessed with it and would listen to it every day. And I had forgotten all about it, and then I'd heard it just a couple years ago.
Came out on DVD.
And even after we'd written the script, this wasn't featured. I mean, we didn't write this song into it until I'd heard it and thought, oh my God, this is what has to happen at that family sequence. And, you know, if people not everyone knows this, but I think that people that grew up with this are really moved when this scene comes on, when the song comes on.
Just like the reminder of this environment he grew up in where anything was possible, there was all this potential, and kind of feeling the loss of that for him in his own life.
Why you got these scary things?
She's questioning those little... They are scary.
Yeah. He doesn't give much of a satisfying answer, but I don't think he wanted to fully go into it with her. Maybe because I didn't know the answer.
So deal with it.
You ever sell a coach?
Why?
Just wondering.
This was also written to be cutting back and forth between them. Some people ask if it was in the editing stage that we started doing that, but it was always written back and forth between her experience with Frank and then Dan's experience with his own family.
And baseheads don't have friends. I mean...
I love when this music cue comes in. This Marshall Tucker Band, Can't You See? Really exciting. I think we'd written it to be a Tom Petty song. Another song that we just couldn't afford. And then our music supervisor, Doug Bernheim, suggested this song. And I just said, yeah, that's awesome. We both said, this is great. And it's got a great vibe.
Some more dancing. This time he chooses not to partake. A big glass of iced tea there.
Or so we'll say. No, I don't know. I think it was iced tea. So the sequence, you want to talk about your theories about this?
It's just interesting because, you know, that whole thing just came out with Mel Gibson insulting, you know, saying anti-Semitic comments to the officer. And I think a similar thing is going on here where this guy, when he gets drunk, just his deepest, darkest kind of racial prejudices and fears come out, things that when he was sober he would never condone and never intellectually accept, but it just kind of surfaces when he's a drunk. And he knows it.
I love you. You know that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Good, good. 241. Apartment 3.
Oh, that cell phone ring? I think our sound designers created that.
Yeah, Tom Effinger.
Because you have to pay for rights for all those cell phone rings. Right? We just wanted to use a regular ring, and it was like
I wanted to use that really cool kind of reggae.
yeah, we thought Frank would have a funky cell phone ring.
But we like
that's-
the
oh,
one
yeah,
that they
no.
created was great.
Yeah, absolutely. This scene is important. It sort of says a lot about where Dan is and where his family is and how he views them as having made an impacting difference in their lives. But now they've given up on that. They don't believe that anymore. And he's sort of at this similar crossroads of, can I make a difference anymore? And if, they don't believe it, then why should I believe it?
Maybe it's your mom. Maybe. She looked great. You should give her a call.
These are two actors who, similar to Tina Holmes and him, had an interesting way of working together and were always doing different things, and it made it difficult to get together, but it also made it interesting to watch, and there were cool things happening between them all the time.
Watch the basketballs, okay, honey?
Hey, Mom?
We did one take here, and somebody came up to the window who was asking for money.
Easy, right?
And I tried to work it into the movie somehow, but we couldn't make it work. But it was kind of fascinating. This guy came up and wanted money from Anthony and all of us in the car with this weird lighting rig on top of it.
Right, and also just like how Frank would react to somebody coming up and asking for
Right,
money.
he was still
Also,
being polite.
During another take, a cop car rolled by.
Oh yeah, that was nice too.
Your mom said there's more wine out here.
Nicole does a good job here. Nicole was in Last Days, the Gus Van Sant film about Kurt Cobain. That was my favorite movie last year. And she doesn't do a lot in it, but she's great. And she has a great presence.
He's nice. He's funny.
Did he tell you jokes?
Sometimes.
This was a joke that you knew as a kid?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty famous joke. I once told it to my dad when I was like 13 years old, and he already knew the punchline. It was really disturbing.
Uh-huh. I'd never heard it.
To interrupt you.
But we knew we wanted a joke for the end of the movie, and I think this was a good one because there was a way for him to mess it up.
Right. And people always mess up this joke, by the way.
This is in Jersey, this motel?
It's the same motel that we shot the earlier scene at, where he dances with that woman that he meets at the bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing we did in Jersey. I keep naming all these things outside of Brooklyn. I should keep claiming the movie was in Brooklyn. And yeah. That's in Queens, that's in Jersey.
They're the exceptions. So that there, Dan Dunne opens the door, sees that it's Drey there, and closes the door and tries to forget it, But of course, this other woman who he's with opens the door because she wants the drugs.
This song here is Shampoo Suicide by Broken Social Scene, and we'd always envisioned this song playing loud over this scene with no dialogue and just cranked up high and rocking, and we played it on set. We had a lot of resistance from producers to play it on set. I think, they were coming from a good place in terms of we may need the Foley sounds, and we don't want to have some music playing on the track, on the production track. But I just thought it was really important, not just for the actors, but for me. I just wanted to feel the music on the set, and I think it just set a great tone. And yeah, I'm really glad that we played it. So hot in there. It was literally 120 degrees in there. We shot in the summer, and
It tasted like sweat, like the air was salty.
it was unbearable. And she had to wear that sweatshirt, and he was wearing a coat.
Everyone was a trooper.
Those girls got to be in their underwear, though.
Sorry, I don't know why I made that little noise.
I was waiting for the big
I just
comment to
remembered
come.
something, but I don't want to share it.
No.
Everything cool?
That's a motel sign that our art department made.
Neon. That neon reflection off the glass.
guess
I don't know where
should
we were
get
shooting
you
this
home.
out, in like a parking lot or somewhere. Middle of nowhere. On the street.
This is the instrumental reprise that I was talking about of Lover Spit that Broken Social Scene did for us. And George Bush on the telly.
He's talking about Cindy Sheehan there, in case you're curious. Did we bring that couch in, or was that couch part of?
We did. I think that we brought it in because they had a very, very small couch.
That's a great couch.
It is a great couch. God, our art department did so much with so little.
I don't think it's a good idea you falling asleep in front of the TV every night. What's up, Drey? You in a funk today?
You know, speaking of doing so much with so little, it's like we talked a little bit about finding Shareeka when we made Go Honest in 2003. And really what it was, we didn't have kids read from a script when they auditioned for us for that. We just talked to them and got a feel for their presence and how comfortable they felt with us. And she just had such a wonderful, piercing, I don't know, bunch of good adjectives to describe her presence. But she really won us over, and she maintained it in this too.
You know, when we were shooting Go Honest, people ask how, when we went back to our feature script after shooting Go Honest, how it changed. I think a lot of it was realizing if we have that kind of actor, how little needs to actually be said. And we went back into our script and just stripped away and allowed people to say things just with their expressions.
I want to point out the tripod here. This is one of the very few uses of the tripod that we have in the film. We thought, without Dan's presence, without any kind of human presence, it would be nice to just lock it down and have it be still.
The only other times we use a tripod are during the reports, I think, right?
Yeah. This is Matt Kerr. Matt Kerr played Dan Dunne in the short Go Honest, Brooklyn. And he did one take, and he wrote his name on the board, and then he said, I want to do another one. I want to put a smiley face. And I said, okay, great. Why don't you dot the I with it? And he did. It's kind of funny.
I really don't know.
The scene was a little bit longer. The kids grilled him with a lot more questions about dialectics and where Mr. Dunne was. Hopefully that'll be on the bonus stuff on this DVD.
Some funny stuff. It didn't quite fit with the mood of the scene, we thought, but some funny stuff.
This is nice. I just like spending a moment with her on this walk. Like, what's gonna happen? What is she gonna say to Frank? And I really like Anthony here. I really like how he's trying to apologize to her and can't quite say it. I think he feels bad about what happened last night.
Drey.
And he wants to say sorry. This is our only other dolly shot in the movie. Handheld on the dolly. Very slight.
This here, you know, this was shot This whole scene, including this part where she opens the door, was shot at night. So this is all a great lighting crew. Just want to throw out some props to Matt Walker and Smokey Nelson and their crew for doing some great realistic lighting. And they did that because we really wanted to shoot this scene after. We had the motel for one day, and we wanted to shoot this scene after we shot the
And
nighttime
that was
scene.
actually shot in the daytime,
Right,
right?
the nighttime scene was shot in the day. This was, and we could have switched it, but the actors and us felt like they wanted to go through that before they had this moment here. And I'm glad that everybody was so accommodating.
And this scene, we considered, very briefly, but we considered ending the film right here after this moment where she gives him the pop.
And asked if he's ready to go. It worked. I mean, it was a very concise ending. There were some things that we really liked about it, but ultimately felt like, she's making an effort here, and even though it's still hopeful, we think, her reaching out to him, asking him if he's ready to go.
Ready to go?
He should really, like, as it was written in the original script, he should really give something back to her, or try, when he gives her the joke at the end.
And this scene right here, this was the last scene we shot on the last day. And so that was pretty exciting for the actors and for us and for all of us to kind of just, well, because he had to shave, obviously, so
You missed a spot.
once he shaved, that was it. There was no going back. And we got to end it. And it was like 2 a.m. We had some lighting rig outside that window, and those guys just did a great job of, I don't know how to do that stuff, and I'd never really, I thought, why don't you shoot a movie? We just want it to be natural light. Let's just shoot it. But when things go into 2 a.m., you can't do it that way. So it was exciting.
Who's that?
The interrupting cow.
The interrupting cow, who?
He's good at timing on this.
Ooh.
He's trying.
That was horrible.
Makes her laugh anyway, even though he messes up the joke.
Did he wink at her? I didn't even notice.
I don't know, that's
I think I just made that up. And so there's that.
That's
I just
it.
want to, you can read all these people's names that are about to appear here in the credits, but everybody, all these producers whose names are about to appear there, I mean,
there are a ton of producers, and it's just so hard to get an independent film, especially one about a crack-addicted teacher, off the ground, and every one of these people contributed something.
really instrumental to getting this film made, and we just want to thank everybody that helped, because we couldn't have done it alone.
Yeah, and obviously not just the producers, but all the crew members and the cast members and everybody.
And Broken Social Scene will take us out. I think that's all I have to say. Do you have anything else to add?
That's all. If you actually listen to this whole thing, thanks for sitting through it and bearing with us. It's our first time doing anything like this.
So hope you enjoyed it, and hope you check out the next one if we're lucky enough to keep making movies. Thanks.
Thank you.